With me now is Congressman Krishnamoorthi, Democrat from Illinois and Assistant Democratic Whip. Congressman, thank you for being back on the show this morning.
Absolutely, Hallie. Thank you.
So let's start briefly on this COVID relief bill and this stimulus possibility. Not clear at all how this ends up coming together. It's not impossible, but at this point, it just doesn't seem that likely. The House Speaker says she is optimistic. She says that a lot. But when you look at the White House offer, it's nearly $2 trillion, which includes stimulus checks with more money for kids, $400 a week in unemployment benefits, $300 billion for cities and states. Listen, this isn't everything that you as Democrats want, but why not take this deal, or would you take this deal as part of a bigger compromise?
I think that Speaker Pelosi is working diligently to get to yes today. I think the question is whether the White House is as well. I think one of the things that she mentioned is the design of the bill keeps changing by the hour very frequently, and the president keeps changing his position on different issues. The latest substantive issue is with regard to testing, Hallie. As you know, states are seeing their single highest daily rates of virus cases, I think 10 yesterday alone, and yet the president doesn't want to do the widespread testing necessary to determine who has the disease and to treat them. And that's just wrong, and it seems to be driven by political considerations. We have to put all that aside and get to yes today. My constituents need this bill. The American people do as well.
So what are the chances you actually get to yes today, sir?
I'm hopeful. I heard your clip of Mark Meadows speaking just moments ago or recently, and I think that if there's a good faith effort on the part of the White House, he's going to have a lot of Democrats, including Speaker Pelosi, on board with getting this done right now.
Again, still leaves the question open on Senate Republicans, but I think that's something that's going to have to get hashed out in the next couple of days here if something does come together. I want to also have you put your House Intelligence Committee member hat on. You have just sent a letter, I understand, to John Ratcliffe, the Director of National Intelligence. You are now raising concerns about Russia, again trying to interfere with our election by pushing QAnon conspiracy theories online. I know that this is new to viewers, new to everyone here on MSNBC this morning. Tell me more about what you're requesting from him. What do you want?
Well, as you know, Hallie, QAnon has been labeled by the FBI as a domestic terrorist threat, and it's gaining speed online. What we know is that the Russians are amplifying this particular conspiracy as part of their, what I believe to be their disinformation campaign to interfere in the 2020 election. And basically what I'm asking DNI Ratcliffe is, what is he doing about this? This is serious. It's an issue with regard to political disinformation. It's also something that could spark violence and criminality, which the FBI has already talked about.
We cover actually this conspiracy theory and sort of these dark and scary corners of the internet a lot on this show. Something that you point out in your letter is that, and I'm reading here, quote, a number of public officials, including the president, have refused to denounce this movement, even while praising its adherents. Talk to us about why that's so troubling to you.
Well, just the other night, as you know, Savannah Guthrie asked the president point blank to disavow this conspiracy theory, and he refused to do so. In part, I believe, because the conspiracy theory suggests that he's the savior, that he is somehow in alignment with its followers. And if he is at as the head of our government, not willing to disavow this conspiracy theory, then it's a big problem because it gives only more fuel for this conspiracy theory to continue online and to possibly lead to violence and increased criminality, not to mention to throw yet another piece of disinformation into the current disinformation online about the elections.
Right. Given that, though, given where the president has been on this, what makes you optimistic that John Ratcliffe or that your letter will be heard and received in the way that you hope it will be?
Well, I'm hopeful that he'll respond. I asked him to respond by October 30th. The most important thing is we need the intelligence community to be able to do its job. The FBI is investigating this conspiracy theory right now, and it's trying its best to take it down. I understand that YouTube has taken down sites related to QAnon. We need to see the other social media platforms do the same.
Yeah.
But most importantly, Hallie, we got to fight the Russians online with their disinformation campaign. This is crucial because they did it in 2016. They're doing it again now.
Let me ask you about another piece of potential Russian disinformation here, talking about, of course, John Ratcliffe. He was actually out on another network this morning, and he disputed some of the assertions from, actually, Intel Committee Chair Adam Schiff, who said this discussion over Hunter Biden and the story that came out in the New York Post that is highly questionable and dubiously sourced is part of a Russian disinformation campaign. Let me play for you what Director Ratcliffe had to say.
Let me be clear. The intelligence community doesn't believe that because there's no intelligence that supports that. And we have shared no intelligence with Chairman Schiff or any other member of Congress that Hunter Biden's laptop is part of some Russian disinformation campaign. It's simply not true.
Now, let me be clear on what NBC News has been reporting, that the FBI, based on sources with our teams, have been looking into whether this is a part of a foreign intel operation. Is there anything that you can share with us on this, Congressman?
Well, what I can tell you for sure is that Rudy Giuliani was the source of this hard drive and this information for the New York Post story. Also, the intelligence community has been saying repeatedly that Rudy Giuliani is the vehicle for Russian disinformation right now about Hunter Biden and the Bidens. To say that there's no evidence that somehow these emails and text messages or this hard drive is part of a potentially a Russian disinformation campaign doesn't make any sense to me, Hallie.
Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, member, of course, of the Intelligence Committee, thank you so much for being with us this morning. I appreciate you taking the time.